Okay, so I thought it would be a great idea to do a proper tutorial for once, and I was thinking for the first thing, blood splatters. For me personally, splatters of any kind of liquid are personally quite hard to do, at least without having any first proper like ways to do it. So this is gonna be a longer form video, and also gonna be a proper tutorial on like the other things I make. So what I'd like to do is thinking about the point of impact. So like say this is where the blood will be coming from. And let's say it hits from here. Now, depending on how it hits, the blood splatter will be different, but for now we'll just think about a blunt force hit that hits across and splatters blood. So we would obviously, I like to do some little rays, basically kind of like how ray tracing works, if you know what I mean. I personally love doing this kind of thing, and this just helps get a nice base thought on where the blood will be. So now you'll just start kind of loosely tracing around it, and since this is a much harder blunt force weapon, sometimes we might skip over a couple rays, like this. Okay, now what we will do is kind of just erase some of the things and just change them into little dots instead of full-fledged out lines. This just kind of helps bring out the effect that it's a liquid and not a solid object. Because me personally, whenever blood just looks like a solid splatter, it really doesn't look like blood. It looks more like, I don't know what it looks like really, but it doesn't really look like blood to me. And now, me personally, I think this looks okay. This would have to be from something like, I don't know, like a blood bag. This is a lot of blood to be coming from a blunt force hit. Now, let's say from something like a jaw. A jaw wouldn't make that much blood. So really what we would do is, so for something like that, what we would do is come over here, obviously get the surface that's going onto, and then we'll still make the rays. So let's say the jaw is right here, just nicely centered. Not really centered, but just there. It exists. And something's coming across and hitting it. 9 times out of 10, it will not create a blood splatter like this. So instead, we would obviously still draw our ray tracing lines, except we're gonna not trace around them like last time. Instead, we're gonna make circles around this area. Kind of, well, exactly like what I'm doing. Make sure to variate the sizes, otherwise it'll just kind of look like it's pouring on, which isn't really what you would want for a, splatter. For a splatter, we really do just want thin, long lines and some fat, round ones. That's my opinion, one of the best ways to draw blood splatter. If anyone has better ways to draw splatters of blood like this, please do let me know in the comments, because I do want to make more art with blood like this. And obviously this won't work. This probably wouldn't be the best options. So I really want to know what other people do for blood splatters. Now, since we're on the topic of blood, I might as well do liquid dripping. Now, me personally, let's say we have it coming from here. and it's dripping down this surface. I personally like to start with some really faint lines like this. Obviously, this will work for like cartoony things, like more like cartoonish. But if you're going for something more realistic, which is kind of like what I do, you really want to kind of make details in it. Instead of just basic lines, you really want to add extra details that wouldn't necessarily be needed. Like gaps in the blood, which would appear, and that little bulbing effect that drops of liquid tend to have. Now, well, this won't work in obviously every case. If you have a lot of blood dripping down at a pretty consistent rate, this is, in my opinion, the best way to kind of convey that. It just looks nice, it's kind of clean, and it doesn't distract too much from everything else that's going on. And then for, like, say it's onto, like, a piece of clothing, like a bandage. Say this is our bandage. What I like to do for this is just kind of scribble to the sides. Because whenever you look at blood on a bandage, it's not liquidy. It looks very, how do I explain it? It just looks like scratches almost in a very dark red color. And maybe not exactly in real life, but this is one of the best ways. Or like, say like if there's a bloody nose, if you have a bloody nose in your drawing, this is also a very good way to just kind of do this if it's not a lot of blood coming out at once. If it's a larger bloody nose, then you might want to do this kind. But for most bloody noses, especially if they wipe off the blood, definitely want to do this more. So that's my pretty basic blood splatter tutorial. And if you guys are interested in actual proper how to draw things videos, let me know in the comments. And if you have any suggestions on blood splatters themselves, do let me know. But for now, I think this will probably be the last video for a while because I'm running out of ideas. But thanks for watching, and thank you for the support I've been getting recently.